forgot we had a mix Gen 3. I'm going to go over Gen 2 real quick, and then I'll jump into Gen 3. So Gen 2, as we forgot, was merged with the earlier slide. That was the first time they took advantage of the backwards compatibility. So now it wasn't just, I'm playing this game to collect for now. These trades, these things will carry on for the future. So it added more weight to that. But it also took advantage of the Game Boy Color hardware, when now you have that 1 in 8,000 shot of a shiny showing up, which was the alternate colored Pokemon. Now the fact that these were just so rare, again, piles on that idea of rarity and a commodity, and now there's a reason that you want to go out there, I want that shiny Pikachu. I have to find someone who has a shiny Pikachu, and now you go online and you try to meet that person for that sake. And that was, another really brilliant way to force people to go out and seek, each other. Also, the mobile GP, I have to definitely mention really quickly, this was a device that was only released in Japan, but it had all the features that would eventually become immensely influential in the Pokemon series. It had an early version of the PAL Pad. It also had trading and uploading online, and it also had this news machine which let people access trading and some quizzes that were online. Gen 3 kind of threw everyone a curveball, though. This is when they realized this wasn't just going to go for 1 or 2 generations and be over. Like, okay, we have to make this able to survive for a very long time. And to do that, we have to zero it out. Basically, now you can't transfer. You were not able to transfer your Pokemon from Gen 2 to 3. This was devastating to a lot of people. A lot of people were really upset about this, but there is a bright side to this. It zeroed the playing field, meaning everyone who didn't get on the train from the beginning now can get on, and a whole new generation of players could join in, and you're on the same level playing field. I'm starting from scratch. We're all starting from scratch. And I think that helped actually, and all the changes they made were for the better. All the stat changes and the new types propelled it even further, and now everyone was starting from the same starting point. So, we're all even.
We want to add in the e-reader as another community former here. Personally, I'm an Animal Crossing fanatic, so for me, it was so amazing for Animal Crossing. We had so many new features that we could play with, and there were other games too that took advantage of the e-reader. And this again had people coming together. Oh, can we trade e-reader cards? What do you have? What everyone was talking about it, and these are the new innovative things that Nintendo was coming out with that really helped communities to grow.
So, around this time, some important sites did get started. In 2004, Smogon University launched, and they are important for, and if you don't know the site, but sounds like most of you do, Smogon is responsible in large part to codifying battle. Basically, the method or the rules by which people can casually battle each other. You love Charizard, but you know what? Oh, he's not that powerful. You can't really use him in a team, regrettably. They have a rule set where you can use what they would call like the underused or the never used Pokemon, and now you can, as long as everyone's using that same tier of Pokemon, you're on the level playing field. So that allowed people who just want to play with their favorites, not necessarily the best ones, to now incorporate them in that important aspect of the game. And, well, what can I say about Bulbapedia other than it's like the source? I mean, it's just like a wiki page. Everyone comes together, they all written all the articles. It's the best source of lore and raw data you can ask for, and it's built by fans who've contributed to it. So, also, this is around the time that the Video Games Championship officially began, and so this was a really big move. Now there wasn't just people playing casually with each other, there were prizes on the line. People could go to tournaments that meant something. They shipped people to Hawaii for the finals. And I think one of the coolest things that they added from the Video Game Championship Series is the fact that in Black and White 2, they allowed players to actually play against downloaded versions of the champions. So you can kind of get a taste of the same competition that the people who went down there got to take part in. And you could see just what kind of, how high a level you can get. It's, you could play this as just a kid's game, fine, enjoy it, but you could play it on this really high level. And that can only come from people sharing the community of information.
In 2005, enter the Nintendo DS. And then in 2006, North America received the Nintendo DS Lite. The Nintendo DS family is the first line of Nintendo's dual-screen handheld consoles with a touchscreen on the lower screen. It also included local wireless functions, which were now installed on the console itself. And around this time, Nintendo also introduced PictoChat, which allows for friends to write and draw pictures with other friends via local wireless.
So along with the local wireless that was now integrated within the system, different games started adopting what was the new phenomenon, the internet. So we had Wi-Fi communities starting to grow at this point. Again, I have to mention Animal Crossing as being a huge catalyst with this, because sites like Animal Crossing Community allow people to form communities online. I was able to make friends with people in England, Holland, Japan, to collect different items from these different areas that were exclusive to their region. So people are now having communities online, meeting new friends that they've never actually met in real life, but their communities are continuing to grow. It is really an amazing phenomenon.
So Gen 4, Diamond and Pearl, in September 2006, I cannot overstate how important the addition of Wi-Fi, as she mentioned, was to this generation. Now it wasn't just battling with whoever you could find personally. You can now battle anyone around the world. You can find random battles. Now you can practice day and night, or you can just upload your team and see how it does with the auto battle feature. The idea is pioneered by the mobile GS that I mentioned earlier. They all came to full fruition here. That is why they added the voice chat system, the online trading, the online competition, and the global trade system, where you could upload the Pokemon and just trade them there. That all was pioneered by the mobile GS, so long ago, and that couldn't have happened without that device. And also this generation where co-op battles came into play, and I like co-op more than anything, and I like making teams for that. So that, even though no one else I feel does that, that was like my favorite addition to this generation.
And in 2009, Nintendo released the DSi in North America. This generation added some new and exciting online features, such as the Nintendo DSi Shop. And in 2010, the DSi XL came out, which, same features, it added a giant screen.
And along with that DSi shop came a lot of DSiWare, which were really cool apps. Some were more of apps, most of them were more games. They were more portable, and some of the new games that came out took advantage of the new features that were in the DSi, such as the camera that was now integrated within it. And so people were able to play games like Photo Dojo. Yeah! You could get your friend right in there in the game. Your friends would beat each other up in front of your very eyes. And if you didn't like local wireless play, that's okay too, because with the DSi's now integrated Wi-Fi system, you were able to play games, again, with your friends in Japan, in Amsterdam, wherever your friends are. California, you can play Tetris online with them now. You don't have to worry about link cables, you don't have to worry about being nearby. You can play with anyone, anywhere, thanks to the new Wi-Fi features.
So, Generation 5 had the one thing that I think, it's really amazing if you think about what the C Gear is. It's essentially Street Pass before the system had Street Pass. I mean, it allowed you to not just, get some random information from each other. It took surveys. You could see how many people who play Pokemon around me, are they male, female, or who do they pick as their starter, what age group they are. You understood more about the community and the people you're nearby just by walking by them. And it gave you some real interesting data on them. You could even ask them, to find out what their dreams are, Join Avenue was another great feature where you could what's better than just passing your friends, but then downloading them in your game and buying potions from them because they set up shop for a while. I also think that this was time where it started hitting the limits of the hardware, but they really pushed everything to that, to the extreme there. But it was a great last hurrah for the DS, and everything they could do with it, they really did there. Oh, I also mentioned the contests, which I forgot to mention last thing. I love the contests that were integrated into the game. Were very important for real battle competitiveness for people who aren't into that way of playing with each other. It's a way to play with other people that is a little friendlier and let people not feel that pressure. Because I'm the kind of person, if I'm battling you, I gotta win, I gotta win, I gotta win. I don't care if I lose a contest.
So now we reach the present with Nintendo 3DS family of handhelds. We're so excited for this thing in 2011. In my opinion, and I think we all agree, what makes the Nintendo 3DS so successful and awesome to own is that the 3DS is a comprehensive gathering of everything Nintendo has learned from their past foray into handheld gaming. The upper screen can display not only advanced polygonal 3D graphics, but can add to that by displaying actual physical 3D depth. The Nintendo Network, which is the successor to the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection, is a comprehensive, unified server network where you can download retail games and indie games such as Steamworks Dig on the eShop, DLC, patches, and a robust online gaming multiplayer system. All these features that have been listed here have been upgraded from past generations: 3D cameras, augmented reality, 3D movement via the circle pad cannot be overstated enough. And also a browser, and these are all built right into the unit. Simply put, the Nintendo 3DS is the ultimate social, always connected system that is an amazing piece of hardware to build communities around.
The latest member of the Nintendo 3DS family is, of course, the 2DS.
It's not a joke.
It's available today right alongside Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. As you may very well know, it removes the auto-stereoscopic 3D functionality. It also changes the form factor, so it's no longer a clamshell. And for these reasons, it's a cheaper device. These factors make it a good fit for kids as well as those who are in the market for a less expensive handheld. And if you look at history, there's a lot of cases where Nintendo's been offering a cheaper alternative. So this is sort of continuing that trend a bit. Now, moving on to Street Pass. Obviously a very important buzzword, but
What is it?
we're about to find out. I like to think of Street Pass as passive communication. I close my 3DS, it's in sleep mode, and if it passes by your 3DS, we can exchange information automatically. This data can be points that go towards completion in the game, like what happens in the Mii Plaza. It could be passing high scores, it could be passing a user profile or something that you customize. And what this really does is it encourages players to break their systems out with them on the go and seek out players to pass by and places where they can pass by, including a new relay system which has recently been launched, where if you go to a Nintendo Zone location, which could be a Starbucks or a Best Buy, for example, you'll automatically receive Street Pass hits, 6 of them, from the last 6 people who were at that location. So it's a good alternative if you're looking for Street Pass hits.
And what's interesting about Street Pass is that Nintendo really pushed the 3D and online, and in our opinion, it seems like you all had answered with your wallets. Street Pass has become a really integral feature to the point where most first-party and third-party 3DS games have Street Pass functions. 2 of my favorites on the many list right here is Mario Kart 7, where when you Street Pass people, not only can you race them in their online profile, but also download Ghost Data to race against. Of course, Pokemon X and Y has a very interesting Street Pass feature, which we will get to in a moment. And Kid Icarus Uprising, where you're allowed to forge together weapons and trade them, so you have a really awesome weapon online to torture your opponents with. Jeff, you have any favorites out there?
Some of my favorite examples are actually from recent games. First, Debbie will enjoy this, Animal Crossing New Leaf. Your house to be sent out via Street Pass, and it'll be seen in other people's towns in a special area. So it's like it's a model home that's on display, and you can go into people's model homes and order furniture that they have on display there. Another example, it's more obscure, Shin Megami Tensei 4. Yeah! hallmark Demon Fusion mechanic from that series, and it transposes it in Street Pass form. I'll have a demon in my system, you'll have a demon in yours. When we Street Pass, they'll fuse and we'll each get a copy of the result.
And what's equally as fascinating about this whole local play system is that Nintendo has a very equally strong attempt to bring this sort of local multiplayer passing functionality into their online sphere with Miiverse and in-game communities. Players will be able to create in-game communities in certain games, as well as very soon their own Miiverse communities in which they can, very similar to Street Pass and our local meetups, chat, share data, and play group games online, very similar to if you were playing in real life against those people.
Now, let's talk a bit about real-life communities. We've seen all these features that Nintendo has offered over the years for communication, but these features mean nothing without the fans who use them. And Nintendo fans are pretty resourceful, and they've adapted well to all these features. And sometimes, Nintendo fans put these features to use in ways that even Nintendo hadn't imagined.
Street Pass, which was originally known as Cross Pass before it was released, and yay for dramatic music. Street Pass! It's very easy to do in Japan, because Nintendo, even though they think globally, they mainly design their systems in Japan, because you have the commuter culture, you have a way denser population. It's very easy to walk around Japan and get 10 Miis in the span of a couple of seconds. Unfortunately, for the rest of the world, even in a great place like New York City, it's very hard to come across people unless you have amazing, well-run, very bizarre fan community events such as New York Comic Con 2013.
Or you take the R train.
So to solve this problem, and Nintendo did not see this coming at all, I asked them, fans around the world, starting in DC, started to band together and form the concept of Street Pass groups.
I would define a Street Pass group as a group that exists for the purpose of facilitating Street Pass exchanges between gamers. If you go to a Street Pass meetup, which I hope you will, you'll see people playing games, interacting, talking about whatever the latest news is, or they could just be passively observing, because Street Pass allows for that too. This will usually be in a local venue, something that sort of brings something unique to the geographical region where the group comes from. And in the northeast region of this country, in addition to New York City and Long Island, obviously, some of the outstanding groups are Street Pass DC, as has been mentioned, Street Pass Princeton in New Jersey, Street Pass Boston, Albany Street Pass, and Street Pass Philadelphia.
And there's also, quick mention, groups all around the world, including London, Dubai, Germany. At one point there was 300 groups, and there's still over 100, and they're going really strong.
And if you want, anyone can make a Street Pass group. And I'll tell you the secret behind Street Pass groups. Street Pass groups are people. Pokemon groups are people. They're people. It doesn't matter if you don't have some amazing venue. It doesn't matter if you don't have a huge budget. If you have people gathering in one place, you've got a meetup. You've got a successful group going.
And, to dedicate that, like I said, like Jeffrey said, pardon my French, dedicated people are people like here for yourself, which we're amazed that this panel filled out here, and we're really glad that you came. So, just wanted to get that shout out there. But what was interesting, so all these groups started to form all over the world and all across the United States. And when we all started talking, all the different groups, New York was talking to Long Island, Philly was talking to LA, we started to think together, and we started to think about we should help each other and organize ourselves. So we decided to form our own umbrella organization. No PowerPoint, not that umbrella organization, this umbrella organization known as the Street Pass Network. The Street Pass Network, I think the best description is a telephone-like directory where you can go and look up different groups in your local area, and if you don't have a group, relax. There are resources that are listed on the website that teach you how to network and spread the word so you can set up your own group in your own local area. It's pretty easy. I mean, we kind of just hand out flyers and holy crud, you guys are all here. So, Jeff, once again, where can we find this resource?
www.streetpassnetwork.com. Ask your parents' permission before going online.
So now that you know about 3DS and you know sort of the history of kind of the Street Pass groups, we now arrive to the absolute present today with Pokemon X and Y, and to see all of and to hear esteemed friend and colleague. He runs an amazing group. Matt, take it away.